What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone for another daily news video on this big Monday, or like a Monday, excuse me, we were waiting for a very long time because there was some big news, I guess. The news is that we, at this moment in time, by the looks of it, got absolutely played. And as it might sound great news, and it might look like, yeah, in court you're gonna win this case. I'm kind of worried because of the way these 15 points came about, and while it might look that it's a slam dunk case for a good lawyer to win, I'm actually more fearful now when going through all the things coming out today. To It's not really looking good in my opinion, and I will explain that why in a minute. But before we get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and hit that bell notification. So today, the statements came out for explaining why we got 15 points. Now, I don't know how many pages the document had, but there were a lot. Very much unreadable. It was basically a lot of copy paste, but names changed and new fees. Basically, it was all the transfers, the plusvalenzas, and all those things, even from other clubs, even the Napoli Osimhen things, all clubs. It was a big statement, and it was a lot of the things were just copy paste. So you needed to scan through it basically. And again, I just scanned through it, picked a few pieces, read a few things. The club said they read everything. I doubt it, to be honest, because I think the big portions were very clear and they were very shocking in my opinion. I will read out first a few things, excuse me, and then I will go to explain like what I think about the situation. So the statement reads: New acts prove and interceptions prove evidence of concealing documentations or manipulating invoices, planned capital gains, regardless of the player itself indicated with an X, but for the financial economic value to be achieved. They're basically saying you violated the rules in an unregulated situation. Now, the club came out with a statement saying Juve Football Club and its legal team have carefully read and will analyze, the motivation published as a short while ago, of the decision of the United Federal Court, blah, blah, blah. It's a document predictable in its contents in the light of the heavy decisions, so the 15 points, but with obvious illogicality, basically saying we knew the club was basically saying we knew what was in the documents, and we knew that was what was coming was bullshit, or is bullshit basically, and unfoundness in a point of law. That's important. Basically, they're saying in front of the law, this means all nothing basically. To which the club and the individual will oppose with an appeal to the CONI within the established time. So the statement comes out from the prosecutors as of why those 15 points got deducted. Really quickly, last year, the same thing went to court and they brushed it aside because there's nothing. It's plusvalenza. The whole thing again, because they talk about invoices, but in the documents, they don't explain why. The only thing you can see a few print screens from documents, and you can see things with pen written aside to it, and the only thing written aside to it is a wrong address and all those things. Like the numbers are still there, so they say invoices and all those things, but they don't explain why. But what they do say is that there's no rule. There is no rule. It's just that it's too much and it's too out of hand, out of control, which maybe it's a fact. I don't know. But the main point is there is no rule. There is absolutely no rule. They admitted there is absolutely no rule for it. Now, what it means is they, on the fly, decided, now this is enough. This is the ceiling for Bruce Valenza. and this is the punishment. Basically, that's what they decided on the fly by the looks of it. That's what they did. There's no rule, but we're gonna set a ceiling. Just here, out of nowhere, we're gonna set a ceiling and we're gonna hold Juve up against it, and that's it. You breached it, and now we're gonna punish you based on no rule. There is absolutely no rule. Keep that in mind. Now the other teams all got, dismissed. The cases got dismissed because there are no wiretaps. Now the wiretaps, again, this is coming from lawyers. They don't prove anything. Like, again, they're talking about plusvalenza, but making plusvalenza is not illegal. So the wiretaps, excuse me, are kind of pointless in all this. Like, if that's the new evidence, then like it's absolutely crazy, because a lot of the documents are just the same as months ago. Like, it's just copy paste. Like, nothing changed. It's about plusvalenza, and them saying now, oh, this is too much. This is basically what is happening. So that's what was in the statement, and it went on and on and on with the same things, blah, blah, blah. Now, like I said, there's no rule. It's just kind of making up things and setting the things on the fly, which is very strange. They were talking about Pjanic and Arthur, which was not in the investigating documents in the first place, and it's in now, but it wasn't in the, like, the club is getting looked at things that weren't part of the investigation, but they're in the documents. Like, it's all very shady. Like, all of this looks very shady, looks very, I don't know, like, made up on the fly. Just add this, we'll cut this out, we'll use this, all those things. It's very weird. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it feels very framed. Like, it is what it is, because they stated there is no rule. There is no rule. It's just they went overboard. That's what they're trying to say. That's what they're basing it on. But the points deduction is not based on a written rule. It's not, and that's my biggest worry, because as you can see, again, I didn't read the entire documents. I don't think anyone has. Like, I just scanned through it, read some things from people I follow, people who go in depth in things, and pick up parts out of it. So I don't know the entire thing, but the biggest points coming out of it is that they're all made up. Like, everything this is kind of made up, and it worries me, because by the looks of it, it seems like, okay, this is a slam dunk for, like, a good lawyer or a competent lawyer, just because you're getting punished on nothing. Like, there's no law for it, there's no rule for it, so you're getting punished based on something that doesn't exist. So that might sound very good, but is it? The fact that they did it, the fact that they admitted it, the fact that they did it, admitted to it, and don't give a fuck, needs to tell you that they're just doing this on the fly, and they already made up their mind. Yeah, even if you go to Coney, which they will just buddy up, it is what it is. It feels like it's already preset, because they went through with this. Like, there is no rule, it's obvious, and they just said it's 15 points. So they do have the, how do you want to say that, do I need to say the guts? They have the guts to do this without thinking about consequences, because it feels like, surely you cannot get away with it. You're punishing someone when there's no rule. Like, you're just setting a points deduction based on something that it's not against the law in theory, and there's no rule that says, okay, if you do this, it's this. But they did. So that actually puts fear in me, quite a lot, because I kind of feel like it's all preset. Like, they made their mind up. Even if you're going to appeal it to Coney, their mind is made up. You probably need to go to the TAR, and then who knows, But that's how I feel, because all this in that statement, they admitting to there's no rule. The club basically saying we already knew what was going to come into it. Basically saying there is nothing new, and in front of a law, there's nothing you can do with it because there is no law to say this is wrong. Now, if they want to make one now, that's fine. But to this day, there isn't. But I fear that their minds have already been made up, and some way, somehow, because of public outrage, because it's Juve, it's gonna be like it's gonna be this, and that's it. That's how I feel, and it's kind of fearful, because again, you would assume by reading all this, looking into this, that it will go away and you will win this case, whatever. But the fact that they went through it with 15 points, that's big, that's massive. Like Julian said, that Milan got that for match fixing, basically. And we are getting this for something that's not illegal in theory. And a lot of people are coming out now saying, okay, this is very strange. Like, this is not okay. This is not normal. This feels very wrong. But the fact that they are like, we don't care, kind of feel like it puts fear in me. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually frightening. It is what it is. But again, this is day one. More and more things will come out of that document in the coming days. The club will appeal it. We'll probably hear about it in 30 days. Let's see. But I don't have a good feeling about it. Not because I think the club is completely wrong, but because of how they're acting and how they don't really care what people think and if it's against the law or whatever. If is there a law to punish the club, they don't care. And this is very worrying in my opinion. But again, let me know in the comments what you guys think. If you figured a few things out, because it's not easy. Like, it is, like, we're football fans. This is terrible. This is ridiculous that we need to do this, but it is what it is, I guess. But let me know in the comments what you think, and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join the live after this, or rewatch the live, because I'm gonna go in more depth about it, interacting with the people. And yeah, we will see you back tomorrow, or today, excuse me, depending. Ciao.